Going guys, I'm CTM Amygdala and welcome back to another Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War video. In today's video I'm going to be covering the zombies portion of the Season 2 update. So I've already done the Warzone and both the multiplayer maps and the multiplayer standard videos, so if you want to see those I'll have them linked in the description below. But this one I'm going to be mainly covering all the new zombies content. So if you guys enjoy this video, be sure to click that like button and also don't forget to subscribe. Guys, so to start off, the first things that we notice that are different with the zombies mode is we have the dark aether background. So when you go into the ether, you'll actually see that purple haze which is behind us in the loading screen. And we also have a new onslaught map called Apocalypse. And this is going to be the brand new multiplayer map in standard multiplayer. And then you see we also have a new mode called Outbreak, which I'll be going into in a little bit here because this is the biggest update that came with zombies. So I'm going to need a little bit more time to talk about that. But if we go over to weapons, under skills we see we have new skills. So there's a new ammo mod called Shatter Burst, or Shatter Blast, and this mod deals explosive damage. So all the bullets have a chance of exploding and dealing explosive damage and destroying armor. And another thing that you guys can see is they added Tier 4 and Tier 5 to every single different skill. So if I go to perks, you'll see they all have Tier 4 and Tier 5 as well. And to get to Tier 4 and Tier 5, you have to spend either 4 refined crystals to get to Tier 4, and then 5 flawless crystals to get to Tier 5. With field upgrades, we have a new one called Frenzied Guard, and this one forces all enemies in the area to target you for 10 seconds. And armor takes all damage during this time. So I believe you actually can't die. I believe you only take damage on your armor, which is pretty good. And then we also have 2 new weapon classes. They added specials, which is going to include the crossbow and the thumper. And then they added launchers, which is going to include the Sigma and the RPG. And I'll get more into those in a second here as well. But there are no new perks. So I'm not going to read out all of the new tier upgrades because it's going to take me way too long. I just read out a couple of them and it took me like a minute per. So that's going to take way too long, pointing out that we have like 40 to 50 of them. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through and you guys can pause them to see the ones that you guys want to look at. So to start off, we've got the ammo mods right here. And Brain Rot looks pretty good, I think. This was always my favorite in previous Call of Duty games. And then here we have the perks. Here's the field upgrades. And here's the weapon classes. And you guys will also notice that the Tier 4 and Tier 5 take 4 crystals and 5 crystals. So these aren't going to be things that you can do like right away. And to get these new kinds of crystals, you have to either go past Tier 15 for the second one, or go, I believe it's going to be like round 30 for the final one. Alright, so here is the Outbreak Mode. And as you can see, essentially what it is a open world version of the fireteam maps from Cold War. So I actually started off on Raqqa for my first session, and you can play on 3 of the different fireteam modes. It will it'll either be the maps Raqqa, Alpine, or a new one called Golova, which is actually not in the full game yet. However, it is in Outbreak and is likely going to be coming to the new Warzone map. And I'll actually have gameplay of Golova up here in a second because this was the second map that I went on to, I don't know if the pattern is Rucka, Golova, and then Alpine every single game, but that's what it was for my first time around. And now I'll explain how you go from map to map. So essentially you're going to start on the first map with standard base weapons, and then after you complete a set amount of objectives, or the main objectives, like you can do side quests and stuff, but there's going to be a main objective on each map, and after you complete that main objective, you can go over to a portal, and it will teleport you to the second map or area, which is going to be Golova in my case, which I'll show a little bit later in the video. But essentially, so you're going to spawn in, and it's open world. The zombies don't really come to you. You kind of go around, and the zombies will be kind of huddled in groups, and you just kind of want to take them out and gain points and different like perks and stuff that way. And then after you're ready, you can go activate the main quest. And as you can see right here, for my Rucka main quest, we had to get like little things of liquid and then fill up the rocket. And then in a second here, in a minute 30, the rocket will take off, and then we'll be able to teleport to Golova. And you guys will see the whole entire thing of Golova, or at least most of it, depending on how I edit the video. I'm not too sure yet. And then we'll have a mission on Golova after exploring it. And then after that, we could have gone to Alpine. However, my teammates decided to exfil instead for more XP and crystals, rather than actually knock out that third mission on Alpine. And every single time you go to a new map, the missions get increasingly difficult. Like for the starting one, there's no bosses, and the zombies are all basic zombies, as well as your guns. There's no like upgrades or anything until the very end. So as you can see there, the rocket goes off. So now we're going to run over to the portal. And along with the portal at the end of the mission is going to be a pack-a-punch machine, an armor and upgrade machine, and a bench. Oh, and a perk machine. The Wonder Fizz, where it's got everything in it. So you can kind of choose at the end of your mission what you want to upgrade for the next map. So now we just teleported to Golova, and you guys will see certain things that change from the first chapter of the Outbreak to the second chapter of the Outbreak. And in the top right corner, you guys will see a red 2, and that determines what chapter of the Outbreak you're on, which you should know anyway, because it's all depending on how many times you've teleported to a new map. And I was kind of surprised Sanatorium didn't make it in. However, they did say that they will keep updating Outbreak until it includes all of the Fireteam maps, or all the main locations that are going to be in the upcoming Warzone map that's likely coming within the next month or two. So, with the second stage of the Outbreak, you guys will see that we now have armored zombies, and the zombies also spawn more frequently. The challenges are a little bit harder, and there's also more of them, and they're stronger. So another thing you guys will notice with stage 2 of the Outbreak is there are going to be new boss zombies. So as you can see in front of me, there's this electric man called the Tempest, and these will start spawning in on the second stage. And then there's also going to be mimics, manglers, and megatons that also spawn in the second stage of the Outbreak. So in the third stage, you guys will run into even harder enemies with even more health, as well as the Panzer from Black Ops 2 Origins as a new boss on the third stage. And I didn't really make it to the third stage in this game because we exfilled after completing the objective in Golova. So I don't really know if there's even more bosses than the Panzer. However, there could be. I'm really leaning towards there isn't. But in this game, the Panzer is going to have a jetpack and a flamethrower, and you can see him in the Outbreak trailer if you go watch that. So last time I talked about how to earn crystals in the Outbreak mode, and if you complete stage 1 of the Outbreak, you will earn 1 raw crystal for completing the objective, and then a second crystal for X filling. However, if you go on to the second one, you will earn 1 raw crystal for completing the objective and 1 refined crystal for completing the objective, as well as a second raw and refined crystal for X filling. In the third map, you'll earn 1 raw, 1 refined, and 1 flawless crystal for completing the objective, as well as a second one of each of those for X filling. And you cannot exfil on every single one, so if you do all 3 of them, you'll get a total of 4 raw crystals because you'll do 3 objectives that give you a raw crystal, plus exfilling on the final one, which will give you a 4th. So there are going to be a total of 4 raw crystals, 3 refined, and 2 flawless that you can earn each session of Outbreak. And from my experience, going to the end of stage 2 took about 45 minutes roughly. So completing all 3 stages might take around an hour to an hour and a half. And this isn't bad at all in terms of earning crystals. However, if you guys would prefer to do the standard round-based modes, you can also do that to earn these crystals. I believe you start getting refined at round 15, and then you start getting flawless around round 30. So that's going to wrap up the video. If you guys enjoyed this one, be sure to click that like button, and I'll see you guys in the next one.